Hello, I want to talk to you today about the benefits of transdermal magnesium in general, magnesium oil. Um, in order to get the full spectrum of benefits, if you're only using magnesium to cover magnesium deficiency, which I guess a lot of people throughout the last centuries, well, especially this last century, I guess you could say, where we discovered the magnesium pills during wartime and um, there's a need to just kind of, we're having such a deficiency because it's no longer in the foods we eat, it's no longer in the soil, so it's like only the sea can come and save us with those minerals to a certain degree that's no longer in the earth. And so we're trying to get this, through the system, and so we take whatever we can get, and it helps us because we need it. We're deficient, but it doesn't help very much because it also tires certain parts of the system if we don't do it right, like the kidneys, etc. We don't see all that what it's doing to the kidneys because we stimulate all the time. Like half the nation or more than that has become addicted to coffee. Like everybody's become a coffee connoisseur, and so as soon as all that coffee wears out, you'll detect what's happening to the kidneys. There's an insufficiency happening, like global, widespread, and especially in Western countries, and it's masked by, by coffee and stimulants. So what we really need is we need a way to get the magnesium into the body without harming the other parts of the body, without harming the kidneys, without destabilizing anything. And so we can't do that through the you know, internal system. There's forms of molecules and things, threonates and glycinates and different things, which can help. But this is less effective in the long term, and you cannot get like a more lasting type of application. It goes in the body and out kind of thing, and so you have like a certain percentage which is absorbed, yes, but much further away from what you would think. If it says 350 milligrams, you're getting like 6% if it's a standard magnesium carbonate, whatever. So getting things to work at a much higher absorption rate, and through the skin, this is the new paradigm, and this is why we're here, because our ancestors left us this paradigm with the spa and bath culture. So in order to cultivate what I call full spectrum benefits, you need not only just to cover the magnesium deficiency and optimize those levels in the body through cellular saturation, meaning daily application on the body to where the body becomes saturated with these minerals, and then it releases them slowly over the period of a month, 2 months sometimes. And so we don't know exactly how it's perfectly functioning, but there has been studies done on hair follicles and different releases of blood testing through the release of heavy metals and things that are coming out over periods after we have already quit the magnesium. You do a 3-month application and then you stop, and for the next 3 months it's still coming out. So there is a lasting effect. There's something much more profound than just you doing it at that exact moment. And so that's the important thing about understanding our ancestors and understanding the skin as the way to do that. So the benefits become full spectrum whenever you have that understood. A lot of people in the transdermal world do understand some of that, but you can't get the full spectrum benefits. There's a few more levels to this. You can just get the basic magnesium if you get some cheap magnesium oil, which has been solvent extracted, refined, transformed, Salt Lake, or Dead Sea, or any of this kind of high bromine, high mercury environments where they have to solvent extract everything at the end, and all the other basic forms of magnesium, all the other kind of powders and natural calm and nigari and all these different Japanese, they're all coming from a modern day source which has to be concentrated and then solvent extracted. So the only source that's outside of that parameter is the Zechstein, and the true Zechstein, not the people that use the word Zechstein abusively, which that can be done. There's no control legally on the word Zechstein, so you can throw it on every Asian product you want and just put some sea picture there, and there you go. And then say from Europe, from Zechstein, whatever you want to say. And so everybody's getting away with this, and so I'm coming here our company has 1,000. We're in 1,000 stores over in Europe, and we're kind of in the center of where this is all happening. This is where the real product is coming from, And so be aware of the false Zechstein marketing claims and self-certified, certification and everything. So if you have the right stuff, which is always the same logo on all of the products, there's only one source in Vindam, which is where the natural salt pillow formation of this huge discovery is. There's only one place that issues certification. It's Zechstein Inside Protocol. It's Zechstein Inside Trademark. So if the Zechstein Inside logo is not on there, it's not the right product. And therefore, that's the first thing, because molecularly, that's going to be a game changer when you have a non-refined product, like a non-transformed, non-solvent extracted. Then it's going to come in there and it's going to be able to chelate at a much better level than higher capacity than a product that has been sterilized and solvent extracted and then cleaned up, or they call it upgrading in the industry, in order to pull those heavy metals and contaminants out. So what happens is it has no longer its chelative power. It's not raw anymore, and it can't pull those toxins out. It's like the molecular purity enables it to have this kind of, not stickiness as far as on the skin, even though it does have some of that. It's a stickiness at a molecular level, and that cannot be detected at the skin level. So, so getting that right product is going to give you the full spectrum, because it's going to give you the not only the magnesium optimization, which the others may be able to give you to a certain degree, but because magnesium touches 800 processes in the human body, this is going to go in there and be a cellular game changer. So it's better to get the right stuff. Don't save $10 when it's going to cost you $50 a year to do one solution, maybe $20 a year to do the other, but it's the biggest deficiency in the world and touches so many different parameters. Just do it right. Don't get cheap in certain areas. Don't spend, $20,000 on $20 million making a discotheque and then spend $5 on the needles where all the music comes through. Like, you don't get cheap in that one zone. That's where you be careful with that. And so that's the full spectrum. It comes through having the right stuff. And the second part of this is you need to have it needs to be packaged in glass, because the glass is going to keep the endocrine disruptors from leaching into the final product, user end plastics, where it's sitting on the shelf degrading the plastic, air's coming through. They know that in the industry, that glass is better than plastic for conservation, but they just don't really translate that into what that actually means as far as degradation and everything else. So, and as you use the product, it degrades in sunlight and halogens and all that stuff trigger it, and they push, it multiplies by 10 the amount of endocrine disruptors that could be in a potential substance. And so that allows, well, what that does is that sticks to that molecule, because that molecule is capable. We have studies of this on magnesium and even on endocrine disruptors and how they can be pulled out through sweating, through transpiration, sport, and everything else. We can get them out. But if you bring something into the body that's already loaded with them through plastic containers, which is ubiquitous, everybody's sold out on this. And not everybody, actually. There's a lot of people who are resisting, but we just have to help them and find the right stuff. But then you'll have something which is much more capable of pulling those same endocrine disruptors out of your own system, because it'll be, that stickiness will be retained and it will be able to chelate that out. So that's how this works. That's the full spectrum. It's glass bottles, Zechstein Inside certification, trademark, and then you're set. It's $25 for 2 months, maybe $50 for a year if you're a normal person. If you need more, get more. But, or a sports person, you'll probably use it year round. But it's a way to pull off a huge deficiency for $50. I think it's better to do that than to say, well, I found it for $4, man, for all that. Okay, you want to do it that way? Go ahead. So anyway, I was sick earlier, so I'm just getting my voice back. So we'll talk about the benefits. The benefits are some of the benefits outside of the well-known benefits of magnesium, transdermal magnesium, such as calming the cramps, pain, inflammation, tendinitis. I'm reading off the site. Stimulates local blood circulation, relieves muscle aches associated with sports activities, relieves pain associated with sports activities, improves skin problems, reduces cellulite. Magnesium is a major collagen and elastin cofactor, accelerates wound healing, helps to restore sleep quality, calms and maintains the nervous system, may increase concentration and memory capacity. Hair care and facial care, including circulation problems with the scalp, etc. Dental hygiene in mouthwashes and gum healing, calms periodontal pain, reduces muscle tension through massage, can help alleviate cold symptoms, may calm headaches, earaches, and the ENT sphere, ear, nose, and throat, promotes the detoxification of toxins and heavy metals, contributes to the improvement of the cardiac sphere, plays a key role in the sexual sphere and fertility. Now, we didn't mention all the hormonal and light states of depression and different things that have always been associated, diabetes, like better for glucose tolerance, and all these things that have always been associated with magnesium. Hypertension, doctors used to give that because we didn't have all this synthetic medicine and stuff. So these are all well known about magnesium for a long time now. And to add to that, one of the powerful things that I take this product for is the detoxification of aluminum. Magnesium is also capable of chelating aluminum and other heavy metals out of the body and pulling them out through the sweat glands. Now, they're in there, it's ubiquitous. There's so many things in our environment that contain aluminum. We've got enough of it in us, and we shouldn't have any of it in us, really. And so this is helping to get that out. It also is helping to break down and deflocculate and deconjugate, fluoride molecules that are floating around not only in the brain chemistry, but all throughout the body. We have fluoride everywhere in our systems because of the water system, the water supply, and deodorants, and all these other areas, that we're not paying attention anymore. How this is getting into the body, and then toothpaste or whatever else. But in general, it's coming through the water. So, and certain supplements and things. There's fluorine in a lot of different things now, like from supplement base, like the powder, the white powder that a supplement be made from, dicalcium phosphate, things like that, medicines. It's more ubiquitous than you would think. And so this helps get all of that out and pull it out. It also pulls out acid residues, which cause aging. And then it also pulls out endocrine disruptors in general, meaning like the phthalates and the bisphenols and the BPA and BPS and all these other plastic forms, like estrogen mimicking plastics. Most of the plastics that are the most dangerous are the softer plastics. And this is this is exactly what user-end plastics are, like when you buy something and it's this soft user-end plastic. There are a minimum amount of plastics in the bottle that we use with glass, but it's just one tube, and the tube is made of PEHT, which has zero like phthalates, BPA, BPS. It's like clean. But I wouldn't trust just BPA free and all that in general, because glass is going to be much more trustworthy to that degree. Glass isn't leaching and contaminating and stuff. We don't make glass that way anymore. The glass is a solid product. Even in China and all parts of the world, glass is the only problem you could have with glass is how they're eliminating some of maybe the materials they use and into the water supply or something like that. So you just have to find people that are, stand up and doing that right. And there's plenty of people in all sorts of countries, from China to Spain to France and different parts of Europe and even in America, that are, properly discarding these, elements or whatever. But the glass itself is fine. So that's the best way. It's the most ecological. It's recyclable at 100%, depending on the color of the glass. But anyway, so get the full spectrum. The full spectrum, it goes down to libido, it goes down to cellulite, it goes down to a lot of other things that we can use, but we have to develop traditions around these things. We have to use them daily, and we have to use them for 6 months at a time to get us out of this deficiency, bring these levels up. You can't just do it once or twice or just for your cramps and pains. You got to enter into it, so to speak. So anyway, if that could be helpful, well, that's my job. I'm a naturopath, and I'm also a naturopath trained in France. So I'm not technically a naturopath in the American system, but has a lot of more traditional food element on the education there in France, which actually comes in very handy here in America, because it seems to be the missing piece. It's not just, oh, healthy food, get this kind of thing, and get a chicken sandwich with that, and eat that, and like that, not going to work for anybody. That type of way that we break that down, where it's just like chicken, did that, and then the meat, and then that. Like, that's finished. It's like, what chicken? Where's it coming from? And not even organic. That's finished too. How is it soy free? Is it corn free? Okay, is there glyphosate in there? Even organic coming through? Is there glyphosate in the chicken despite the fact that it's organic? So all this stuff has to come into play. And they can all be searched online. You can order these things online. Glyphosate free or soy free or corn free chickens. But if you don't, good luck, because you're not going to find it. So if someone's telling you chicken sandwich in the morning with this, that, and the other, they're already off. They're in the old paradigm. The old paradigm is you're going to eat all those chicken sandwiches and you're going to be a little bit healthier than you were if you were eating maybe whatever else it was. And I'm not even saying chicken is what you're supposed to eat. Like, I'm not doing that. But like, you will find yourself in a K-hole or in some sort of other trap because you're eating all these soy proteins. The soy-free egg is so powerful in what it can do to the body, but nobody can find it. Nobody's trying to find it. I am, and friends I know are, because I've helped them to educate themselves around it. Some of them have found them on their own. That's great. Like, thank God. I mean, we need a bunch of us out here trying to help. And but in general, those soy-fed chickens, which is like 99% of chickens that you're going to eat, in organic or not, in every Whole Foods and everything, like, they're going to be giving you all these soy proteins. And all those soy proteins are going to be creating endocrine disruptors and weakness in the body, weak tissue, endocrine disruption, soft and hard get mixed up. Places are supposed to be hard or soft, and the other, it's the reverse. And then the women, it has another effect, a reverse effect than it does on men. So it's a really bad system, and it contaminates the body with bad estrogens. And then we start hating estrogens in general, but they're not, if they're good estrogens. But, take some royal jelly. Now you have some real good substrate for estrogen. But, this kind of food that we're eating is not helping. So if someone's a health trainer and they're telling you, okay, chicken sandwich in the morning, and that's it, you're not going to make it on that. You're not going to make a deeper change in your health on that. You need something way more precise than that at this point. We're naive at this point to think that we can just eat chicken, meat. No, you're not going to get there. You got to go very intensely into each element and each thing, and we got to wake up. I know a lot of people don't want to go through all that because it's just easier to go along with it. But, I've been eating at home most of my life in America here because I don't trust that you can't find good food out there, And so you have to do it yourself. You have to order from online. You have to borrow from Russian, Persian, Asia. Sometimes you have to borrow from so many different elements in a given place just to get things to stay healthy that it's quite a challenge. So learning from someone like me who went through all this already and made it easier for a lot of people to learn about this through the books and everything, the audiobook, everything that I'm trying to put together, this is going to help you to not have to go through all that work and be like, okay, so you've simplified it to these basic things that we typically find in our environment. Okay, let's do that. Okay, for red meat, okay, you've only found New Zealand lamb. That's it. That's all you've found. That's fresh meat that we can use. Okay, so then we're going to stick with that. We're going to use that, and we're going to use the lamb feet, the lamb parts. We're going to make our broth with that, and we're going to eat steak with that. We're going to make our tartare with that, and we're just going to stay there until we figure something else out. So it's all these little items that are going to help you get back on track. And of course, you can always, not cheat, but you can go into other things and pleasure and for the convenience of flow of life. You're not going to always be able to make an obstacle or pull it all off perfectly. But in general, you can set yourself up with the right principles and have 90% of your food to be helpful to you long term, which is what we need over here. So hope you're able to get something out of that. Thanks.